Alrighty, what is up, folks? My name is Melvin, and welcome. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you doing exceptionally well on this place that we call the internet. Now, huh? This is a really uncomfortable conversation to have, but I feel like it's very, very important. So just recently, um, everyone's talking about Logan Paul and his crypto schemes and things like that. But then a topic came out about how he has been abusing his animals, not only recently but also in the past. So I'll give a quick description on that. So um, he had a bird, a parrot that he loved very, very much, but unfortunately, a dog thought it was a chicken and attacked it. No one thought much of that at the time. I think that happened in 2017, 2018. I could be wrong about that. But then his dogs got attacked by coyotes. He's actually in his videos. He's been seen abusing animals in videos as well. He was abusing koi fish in one of the videos, and I think one of them actually died in the video because it floated to the top. And then just abusing dead rats. I mean, that one's not really abuse. That one's not even that. In my like, it's a dead rat. I mean, I don't know. I grew up in New York. Rats are just, like, they're everywhere and they're horrible. So I, for me personally, that one is kind of like whatever. But all the other ones is kind of like, yeah, it's kind of gross. Um, but then there was this one where he had a pet pig, and I think he didn't. I think what happened, I can't say for sure, but I think what happened was that he just didn't realize that those kinds of pigs grew up to be really, really big. But the thing is, pigs are. We're learning now that pigs are just as emotionally uh, intelligent, as well as just regular intelligent, as dogs can be. So what happened was, I think he tried giving it to a home, um, but that home couldn't take care of the pig. It was kind of like a kind of like an in between. Like, this person will take care of it while also looking for a new home, but then unfortunately got lost and almost died. And I don't know the full story. I don't know who to blame in the scenario. I'm not looking too deeply into that story itself, but I'm going to talk about my experiences with pets, because I did not take care of like, most of the pets that I've ever owned. I have treated them horribly, really, really badly, like really badly. And I'm just going to talk about it. I don't feel proud of any of this. I feel really bad. I was an extremely young, extremely naive child. And it's just, yeah, dogs, cats, anything in between don't deserve to be abused. And if I could take any of those back and, try to raise them better, I would now. If I had them in my possessions now, I would do a much better job of taking care of them. So let's talk about it. So my first pet was a dog. This was when I was growing up in New York. I don't remember much memories of New York, but I do remember the dog. But what was happening with me, and the reason why they got rid of the dog was because of me. So when the dog didn't listen, I would abuse the dog. Like, I would actually, like, choke it out. Remember, I was like 2 to 3 years old, so I didn't know any better. I was also very antisocial and just didn't know how to talk to people, didn't know how to, like, work with people. Like, my social skills were really bad, so it really showed on this dog. Um, Maybe at the end of the day, I'm glad they didn't keep the dog. Well, I'm definitely glad they didn't keep the dog. Who knows? Maybe they could have kept me. Like, I would have kept having those bad habits if they had kept the dog. So, but I love dogs. The thing was that ever since I was a kid, because of Blue's Clues, I loved dogs and always begged for one. So I kept asking for pets. Kept asking, kept asking, years, 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 every year, every year, every year, every year. Um, so I'm trying to remember. I think it was in this order. So I had a dog. I don't remember how old I was. I think it was like 7 or 8. We had a Shih Tzu, named it Joy. Loved it. It was a puppy. Loved it. Um, I'm not going to get into too much details there, because I have one story. Other family members have other stories. So essentially, I don't know who to put the blame on, but we left it outside in this, like, the most makeshift fence possible. So it was kind of like, I don't know what kind of fence it was. It was I think it was like some sort of garden fence. It was about 3 feet high, but it wasn't put into the ground very well. So we just kind of left it outside, the dog, like this puppy, while we went to do errands, and then when we came back, it was just gone. I kept thinking that it was just still alive, that it was gonna come back, and I kept asking my mom like, when are we gonna like put posters up and like see what happens. And then my mom was just like, I guess she was just tired of the charade, so she just told me, yeah, the dog's dead. And then I started crying, and I was like, yeah, it just sucked. Um, but yeah, no, the thing is, I don't know who to put the blame on, uh, because I did say like, is this like, are you sure this is good? Like, shouldn't we keep it in the house? And my mom was like, no, no. So here's the other thing. Okay, so I grew up with Dominicans, all right? And I will tell you right now, from my experience, from all the Dominicans I've seen that have had pets, Dominicans are bad at having pets. I'm not saying that all Dominicans are, but definitely there's a lot of Dominicans out there that just don't know how to take care of pets. They just don't know. They weren't taught. They just didn't learn properly. So it's just like, with my mom, trying to raise a pet. No one taught her how to raise a pet. And I'll say right now, my mom right now, she has some dogs, some cats. Like she knows now. She's learning now how to take care of. But we didn't know back then, and no one taught us. And it was just like, yeah, we were just kind of very, very, very naive. Few years pass, and I don't know the order. I think we tried getting a dog again. It was a Chihuahua, and the Chihuahua didn't last very long. So the thing about my mom when she grew up was that she was very, is the word cleanly? Very cleanly? I don't know. She tried to keep everything as clean as possible, around the house. And dogs are just they're the opposite. They just don't keep things clean. I have seen a lot of clean dogs, actually. I've seen a lot of dogs that are just very, very clean. But that takes years. That takes years of training and, patience, all that wonderful, good stuff. But yeah, no. When you first get a puppy, yeah, they're horrible. They just don't know how to take care of them. And my mom got the dog with the assumption that I was going to essentially do everything. And I think I was like around 10 years old when we got the Chihuahua. And yeah, no, I didn't do any of that. Like I took it outside most of the time, but not all the time. And then if my brother had to take it outside, or my mom never took it outside. But yeah, no, it's just, it was a mess. And my mom was like, we have to get rid of it. I don't want it. And I don't know how they got rid of it. I don't know what they did. I'm sure they gave it to another home. Like they gave it to someone who knew what they were doing, a friend, something like that. But I never saw the dog afterwards, and it sucked. Um, then I think my mom felt pretty bad after that because she was giving me alternatives, suggestions. She's like, okay, we can get something smaller. So after seeing the movie Bolt, Disney's Bolt, which had three small pets in the movie, it had a cat, a dog, and a hamster. I think it was a hamster. And then we got that. But then doing research, I forgot what the research was about, but we ended up getting a gerbil instead. And yeah, so we ended up getting a gerbil, and the gerbil's name was Storm. We got Storm. And I actually had him for a while. I had him for a few months, but this was all my fault. I at late like I like to stay up late when I was a kid, and I would put him in a box, just make sure he wouldn't get out. But and my mom told me that same night, she's like, you should put your pet back before you fall asleep. And I was like, no, 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 I want him here. And I remember the last thing I saw before I never saw him again. He was on my chest. I was looking right at him, and then I passed out. And then I woke up, and he was gone. It was my day off, and I spent all day trying to find him. So literally, probably what happened was that he ran away and then died. Like, it's unfortunate, but yeah. And then I got, so in middle school, there was this teacher who would raise rats for a short period of time, and then if any students wanted to take them, he would do that. So I ended up like saying like, oh, I would love to. I already have the cage from the gerbil. I can just put the cage for them. So I had two rats, and I I remember the names now. I didn't remember those names for years until just now. But Katie and Sadie, because I was watching Total Drama Island at the time. I think it was already like a Total Drama All Stars or something like that. Total Drama Action. There we go. Total Drama Action. But I named them Katie and Sadie from Total Drama. And what happened there was I went on vacation, and my brother was supposed to look after them. But those two, they were escape artists. They would escape a lot. Like, they were really good at getting out of their cage, and I just didn't know how to stop that. But yeah, no, my brother was supposed to watch them, and then they were just gone. It sucked. Um, but I forgot I had pets before then. I had fish when I was 5 years old. When I first moved to Wisconsin, I had pet fish. I don't remember what they looked like. I don't remember who they were, but we had a SpongeBob themed like pineapple in there. That was pretty cool. Um, so yeah, we had pet fish when I was 5. I went to New York for vacation. When I came back, they were gone. The fish tank was gone. The fish were gone. My theory was that probably because no one just went into me and my brother's room at the time, so they just didn't get taken care of properly. No one was feeding them, and then they just died. Or their lifespan, I don't know, because I don't think the light fish lifespan was less than a year. But then yeah, so yeah, I after those two rats, I didn't have a pet for a very, very, very long time, very long time. Then in college, I was like, you know what? I want a bird. I want a bird. I think birds seem like pretty cool pets. I was doing research on birds, and they were really, really cool. I really, really wanted one. And when my mom said yes, that's when everything changed, because I actually did research. I actually did homework. I wanted the pet badly. So I did a lot of research. I did a lot of work. I ended up with a parakeet, because parakeets are pretty easy to take care of. But even though they're really easy, they still take a lot of time. I got my pet bird during summer vacation. I was still doing summer school, but I was taking care of it. I'm so glad that I took care of it during summer vacation, because that gave me a lot of time to spend with the bird. It gave me a lot of time to train it, be on my hand, and things like that. And I loved him. He's a great bird. I loved him. The rest of my family didn't like him. It sucks. It sucks when there's no cohesion in the house, you know. But I understood. It was my pet. I loved him. But yeah, I should have taken care of him better. I should have done better. Simple things was that I was doing competitions. I was doing public speaking tournaments and things like that. And I would leave him home sometimes 2 to 3 days. And he would have plenty of food and plenty of water. But for a bird like that, he needed more. He needed more. And I was always thinking about getting him a second bird. I was always thinking about it. Always, always, always. But then I never like did it. I wanted to, but I never did it. And yeah. And then yeah, house caught on fire. He was fine. I gave him to a friend, and then he died a month after. And I don't like thinking about it much after that. It's still uncomfortable to think about. And it's one of those it's one of those things where when I think about it, I try to appreciate, because I wish I'd taken more photos with him. I don't have like any photos of him, and I really wish I did. I really wish I had more videos of him. There's one video on my other channel of me feeding him a banana. I'm glad I have that. I'm glad I have that. And every time I see that video, to be honest, I cry every single time. It's heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking every time I watch it. Because I did really try to take care of him. I had a great relationship. I forgot to tell you his name. His name was JD. His name was, because I was watching Scrubs at the time. I was doing a big Scrubs marathon because it was leaving Netflix. So I was like, okay, well, now's the time to watch it. Because I had plans. It was leaving Netflix. and I named him JD after the main character, Scrubs. Then finally, we come to today. So I lost him in like 2018, my bird, JD. And then I got a pet in 2020. Does that sound right? I think it sounds right. 2020. I got him. Yeah, 2020. I remember now. But yeah, 2020, February. No, was it February? No, it was not 2020. It was 2021. Yeah, it was 2021. So February 2021 was when I got my boy, my sweet wampum. His name is Junie. He is 2021. He was 5 months when I got him. I like to say his birthday is August, just because why not? He's a cat. But I'm trying to think, is he like two? He's like around 2.5 now. If I got him when he was 5 months. So he's 2.5 years old. He's black and white. And it's not this cat. That's Ringo. That's not my cat. It's my roommate's cat, but I love him nonetheless. He's a good boy. But yeah, my boy. Black and white. Very kind and caring. And I'm just trying to, I don't know, do I have any pictures of him at the moment? I mean, I do, but it's going to look back through a lot of photos. I didn't mean to. Ooh, there we go. Found some recent photos or some videos. Him being a sweet boy. Look at that. Look at that sweet boy sleeping. Look at that. So yeah, you can see I have more photos and things of me spending time with him, you know? I have more stuff now because of my bird JD. And I've just been learning as I'm getting older, as people leave my life, either through friendship or through passing, that I just need to start recording and just start living my life more, you know, and start recording these memories, because one day I will forget about all those pets that I didn't record, didn't take pictures of, things like that. Like all that's just up here. It's what I remember. I don't have a lot. I'm glad for the stuff that I do have, and I'm just remembering like, yeah, it is kind of important to start saving those moments in life, you know, because you don't know what they're going to teach you, whether it's now or later, and you don't know how that's going to affect you, you know. So with that said, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. All right, take care.